A ripple of excitement spread through the yachting community recently when a very special yacht became available for sale. The excitement was not due to the yacht being particularly large. Far from it. Neither was the excitement due to a particularly high price tag or a particularly futuristic technology. So why is the yachting community so excited about Monara? Well, in this video we'll be showing you just a few of the things that make her so very special. Her history, her pedigree, her value, and her engineering. We'll be taking a complete walkthrough tour of this very special yacht, and we'll be telling you what to do if you want to take ownership of her. And the best person to tell you about these things is super yacht broker Ed Dickinson.
Monara is a Feadship. She was originally delivered in 1969 by De Vries. She measures 25.8 meters, and she's recently completed a full rebuild at Feadship at their Makkum facility in 2016. The history of Monara goes back to the late 60s when two vessels were built. There was Sultana, which is also had a rebuild, and then Monara. Monara sort of went through a cycle of ownerships over the years, and she ended up in Greece. The rebuild of Sultana, the sister boat, had just been completed in 2012, and the owner of Monara was approached. The project manager had found Monara, at the time called Olympia, and said, "Do you want to do the same project?" And they embarked on a 4-year rebuild at Feadship. Monara, from start to finish, was a nut and bolt rebuild at Feadship. She comes out with a 2016 builder certificate from Feadship, and everything that was done at the rebuild is still original through to this day. So she's true Feadship quality. If you were to go today to build a 26-meter canoe stern Feadship, you would effectively get the same vessel you have on Monara. I don't believe Feadship would do a 26-meter, but the Feadship Heritage Fleet, which is growing in popularity, saw the benefit of bringing this classic boat back to life. One of the things to bear in mind is obviously the cost of such a rebuild today would be significantly north of 10 million euros. The owner spent a huge amount of money to do the rebuild, higher than it was expected, but it has delivered a vessel which you can effectively consider 2016. All of the systems on board the boat are new as of the rebuild. The paint is new as of the rebuild. The teak is new as of the rebuild. Effectively, the hull and superstructure had a lot of metal works completed on her, but with the exception of the hull, superstructure, and the original Gardner engines, everything on board is new rebuilds, but in the style of the original delivery. So the engines are the jewel of the boat. They're the original Gardner engines. They're incredibly quiet. The idea is that when they're on turnover, you can rest a 50p coin on the top of the engines and it will sit perfectly. There's next to no vibrations. They're extremely quiet. At cruising, they consume 30 litres of fuel an hour. It gives the boat a range of close to 2,000 nautical miles. The owner was very proud of his engines. So one of the things he's had done is he's had the engine room lit up. And as you look through the dining room, as you walk through the main salon, there is a glass panel in the floor, so you can see directly down to overlook your engines. One of the things that's important to note about Monara is she is a commercially compliant vessel. She has a charter record. The owner likes to look after her though. She's not been pushed as a charter machine. At the same time, she has a strong charter following who would like to follow the vessel onto a new ownership. The vessel is very reasonably priced, and there's not many vessels out there which allow charter guest access to a classic Feadship at such a price level in such fantastic condition. I think it's worth mentioning about the engine room. When Sultana and Monara had their rebuild, one of the things they decided to fit were batteries to allow 12 hours of zero generators, zero engines running, and you can be at anchor in complete silence. Now, the owner likes to use this facility. He has recently replaced over half the batteries on board to make sure they're working perfectly. But at the rebuild, Feadship originally fitted one generator to supply the rest of the remaining power on board and to charge the batteries. The owner has actually fitted a second generator on board to make sure there's more than enough power to supply the vessel. One of the most important aspects of Monara is the sun deck. From the aft all the way up forward, it can either be fully covered or it can be completely open. At the aft of the sun deck, you have a lovely U-shaped seating area. The dining table can actually drop down to make one large sun pad. As you move forward to the midship area, where traditionally you would find the tenders, this has been made into a very nice L-shaped seating area. And up forward, you have a further sun pad area, which is on top of the bridge. You also have a sink and a pull-out gas barbecue. So perfect for entertaining. Having speaking to guests, it's where they live. The top deck is unbeatable for the size of vessel. On the main deck, a few unique features about a canoe stern Feadship. One thing that a lot of buyers and charter guests are worried about is access to water. So the owner of Monara had a hydraulic swim platform fitted to the side to allow easy access both to the tender and the water, as well as the stern passerelle. The main deck aft can be fully enclosed, so if you're at anchor on a windy night and you still want exterior dining, it's completely sheltered. As you enter the boat, you have a bench that wraps around the stern of the boat, with comfortable seating, and you also have a dining space on the lower deck. Again, if you want to have more sheltered dining. The main access through into Monara is through the main aft deck doors. As you enter, on the port side, you have a staircase that leads you to the guest accommodation. And as you go further forward, you're greeted on the port side with a nice seating area. Further to starboard, you have a dining space. One of the key differences between Monara and Sultana is that Monara has her galley on the port side, whereas Sultana had hers on the starboard. The advantage of having this new configuration is it allows you to then have direct access both to the engine room and to the master cabin directly from the dining room. So the guest cabins on the lower deck and the master cabin are separated with the engine room in the center, and also it gives the master cabin a bit of extra privacy. As you pass through from the dining room, you go up a set of stairs and you have a bridge. The bridge is all brand new. It can be completely flush. So if you have guests on board who would like to just see the boat at anchor, all the bridge and nav equipment actually collapses down, and all you see are the original steering wheel, the original compass, and the original helm. So everything is very flush, very clean, and also true to her history. The crew have access on the foredeck to their accommodation, and this is also where the tenders are kept on board. So the tenders are kept well out of the way of the guest spaces. The master cabin is accessed just forward of the dining space. As you go down a set of stairs, you can either go forward into the master cabin or you can turn back on yourself, and you have access to a freezer unit, and also it then goes directly into the engine room. In the master cabin as you enter, you have a full walk-in wardrobe. The master cabin's full beam. Part of the rebuild, they actually made larger windows in the hull to get more natural light into the master cabin. The master cabin's equipped with a full wet room, so it's a walk-in shower room, toilet, with sinks, and the sinks look out over with direct access to the water. So it's a really nice feature. It's very light, very bright, very clean and modern. The guest accommodation is found at the aft of the boat. So you have a VIP double stateroom. The VIP has its own ensuite bathroom. And forward of the VIP, there are two twin cabins. These twin cabins can be converted into doubles, and they share a Jack and Jill bathroom, which is midship. It gives you a total accommodation of 8 guests on board. which is perfectly adequate and comfortable for the size of vessel.
This is such a very unique and special yacht that I can't help feeling that she's most likely to pass into the hands of an experienced yacht owner who really understands the value of such a vessel. If you have any questions at all about the yacht, even if you're not a qualified buyer, then do leave your question in the comments section below and I'll ask Ed to answer your question for you. And if you are a qualified buyer, then here is the best thing that you can do.
For any interested buyers in Monara, I strongly encourage a visit on board. She's a boat you fall in love with at love at first sight. We have all the information on the rebuilds at hand to discuss. Feadship are at hand to also discuss the project. We strongly encourage visits on board before the season, and we'd love to show you on board.